I'm going to be planting out the Swede now. This variety is called Tweed F1, and I started them off in these cell trays. The Brassica cage is full, so I'm having to put them out in the open ground here, but I'll be treated exactly the same by adding a bit of lime to the root and protecting them from the pests, butterflies, etc. Spacing is going to be around about 9 inches, 23 centimetres. So I'll be popping these out. I'll come back to you when I've finished. The Swede is actually part of the Brassica family. It's short for Swedish turnip, and by adding lime to the whole, as with all brassicas, it helps ward off any disease such as the club root. And as usual, you can plant them a lot deeper than the stems, and make sure you give them a good firming in. I'll just give them a light watering just to bed them in. Still extremely hot here, and as a result the plants are wilting. But once the sun goes down, I'll water them properly in. In the meantime, I'll get a net over to give them a bit of protection. Life on the allotment has many variations, and today's no exception. This afternoon's been a scorcher. But as I was walking up the pot, I spotted a little old purse-owl in need of a bit of help. This is him out, a young racing pigeon, and he's absolutely exhausted with the heat and that. So he's come down. I've given him some peas and water. He's had a load of stuff, but he's still really exhausted. So for tonight, I've decided I'm going to keep him in the allotment toilet. I've put a perch up there just so that the foxes don't get him, and then it's cool in here. It's got somewhere warm, well, out the elements, and I'll put him in. I'll just show what I've done to the door. Here's our door. I've put this little sign on warning all the other people, and so hopefully tomorrow morning they've had a nice rest, plenty of food, and be able to return home. Got some update on the pigeon. He's been returned back home. Being a racing pigeon, he's got a ring on his leg, and it's got information on there which you can trace the owner. It's got GB on being for Great Britain 19, which was last year's bird, 2019, and then there's a set of series and letters. I went on to the website, the Federation, which is the Royal Pigeon Racing Association, and first of all you have to fill your details in, your name, phone number, address, contact details. And then when you enter the code off the ring, you get an immediate email back with the contact details for the owner. Unfortunately for our pigeon, he was only probably a mile away. Anyway, I found him up, and he said loose him in the morning. If he goes, he'll come back home. If not, it's because he knows there's food there and he'll hang around. Anyway, sure enough, he hung around. So I called the owner again just after lunchtime, and he came along with a box. Picked him up, took him back to his loft with his mates. We've got some welcome showers the last few days, but boy has the temperature dropped. Just looked at the thermometer now, it's 10 degrees, and it definitely feels like it. I've got some kohlrabi here that was kindly donated by one of the other plot holders. And I've still got a bit of space in the Brassica cage, so I'm just going to pop these in. Well, can you believe it, eh? Just putting the first plant in, it started just spitting around. By the time the second one was in, I was absolutely soaked. It just hammered down. Anyway, I carried on, and in the end I managed to get 9, and these are kohlrabi. Not sure what the variety is, but I planted them quite close together. I'm sure they'll be alright. And then the next bag along, I've just popped another 6 there of the Swede, and those are the Tweed F1 variety. Just spinning around here, these are the parsnips. Very happy with the germination on these, except for that one station. I did have one in there, but it went. I think that was my fault, but I've resown it. Anyway, I've got to pop a net over the top there, as you can see, or maybe not in car. And that's because something in the night, I'm not sure it was a cat or a fox or something, using it as a toilet, and no problem with them spending a penny, but the amount they was leaving is more like £1 worth. So I've put that net on, and hopefully that's curtailed their activity. The next job on for today, if we can dodge the showers, is to get these out. These are the Banana Shallots, and they should have been planted out quite a few weeks ago. The good thing is they've continued growing in these pots of put 'em in. Slightly bigger these are, but those are the ones of the second sows I did in the Agriland plug trainers, and they've come on really well. So I'm going to start getting these out. I've just quickly lifted the onion tent, and the plan is to start planting the Banana out from this end and work backwards. And any remaining room then, once these shallots are out, I can then fill that space with leeks. On the plus side of leaving these in these trays for so long, it has allowed them to develop a decent root system, so that should get them off to a good start. In the end I managed to scrape 60 out. That's 5 rows of 12. 2 or 3 at the end are a bit questionable, but they might pull through. While I was planting the last row there, I did a bit of a weeding on the reverse run back out of the cage, and that's the shallots, the golden gourmet, and I'll be weeding the other side by lifting the sides of the net up. I've given them a good watering now, put the net back down and let them crack on. I've just noticed the fox has been in again. Look at that. It's dancing right in the middle of the carrot box just as I'm coming up. We're getting a pain, this is, so I think I'm going to be putting something across the top. I remember when I first took on my allotment, I was a bit overwhelmed, thinking, what am I ever going to grow to fill this? Well, you soon get over that problem. Looking here now, I've got the celery, there's 24 there and 22 there. Scratching around for somewhere to put it, but I think I've found somewhere in front of the Swede here. This is a bit of ground I think I can use. I should be able to get 3 rows of 12 in there. These celeries lie themselves blanching. It's just about the right size now for setting out. Just fetch one out here. You can see the root ball on it. Nice. I'd have preferred this to be doing this probably a month earlier, because celery does take quite a while to mature and develop, and although this will be alright, we may be running into the colder months where there's a risk the frost might nip it. Anyway, let's get into the ground. Celery is a bog plant, and because of that you should never let it dry out. Drying out usually causes it to bolt and get to seed. I'm fortunate in here because this bed last year had the potatoes in, and it's had a real good helping of manure. That's rotted down nicely, and feeling down below the soil you can actually feel the moisture, so that's got to be a good thing. That's 36 done. A bit closer than I'd actually like, but I'm stuck for room, plus getting them closer will help with the blanching. I've just given these two beds as a light rake over, and I think in this one here I'm going to put the sweet corn. I know the potatoes are behind, but by the time these get to a near height anywhere, these potatoes will be long gone, harvested. And in the second bed here I'm going to be putting 4 courgettes. I've got 4 courgettes to put in. Got flowers on already. They're getting into a bed full of old rotting manure, so I'm sure they'll fly away. Courgettes want to be placed 2.5 to 3 feet apart. And once you plant it, give them a good drink. I'm going to put the sweet corn in now. This is lark. Not grown so many this year. I just put in 18, I think, 3 rows of 6. Got far too many. I did panic at the start of the season because it was per germination, but probably got twice as much as I need now. I've popped the marking board down and got the first 6 holes sorted. You see, with these root trainers, you get a decent root system. That's the 18 sweet corn done now. Depending on the weather, I may just put a little fleece barrier around the outside just to give them protection while they're putting the roots down. Been a busy day today. Just picked the beans up, them are the next to go in, but the bean frame over the back there needs a bit of repair work. It's all gone rickety and that. What I may do is actually take the steel poles down for this year and do a temporary frame with just canes. Anyway, I'll save that for the next upload. Thanks very much for watching. See you later. Bye for now.